Oi, oi, yes, I'm back. I ain't done one in a bit. It's the Cockney Butter and it's all about getting real. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week out there. It's a Monday. And I hope everybody's looking for the lessons and the PPA. It's my wedding anniversary today. 30 years married. It's been an absolute blast, but there's been a lot of the, the ups and downs in there. But this is what this comes to. The heading of this. It's all about commitment. And what you're committing to, the focus of it all. Because if you don't have that commitment, then you're going to start swaying elsewhere. So this is all about how I committed, how my wife committed, and how this all sorted out. Because if I didn't commit, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So grab yourselves a nice cuppa, turn up that volume. And thank you for listening in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I always say it, but I really do, honestly. If you can give me a like or a subscribe or a comment or something out there, you beautiful people, it would really, it really helps. It helps the, especially on my YouTube channel, it helps me to get out to other people, and that's why I do these podcasts and vlogs, and I have a web page out there too, mindnutrition4all.com. Go and check it out. There's 50 plus blogs on there if you like to have a read. A couple of good ones. SOS is a good one that got a lot of traction when I put it up, and Be the Oak is another one. So go and check those out and have a bit of a read because, they really did take off when I put them up. People were real interested in those two. But it is my anniversary. It is my 30-year wedding anniversary today. And I woke up in a decent mood. I was, I'm doing all right. And went out for a bit of a walk, dropped a vlog. And when I dropped a vlog and I put it up on the YouTube, my wife saw it, and here's what she wrote, and I'll explain what it actually is if no one clocks on what it is already. But it's actually song lyrics, but it reads out as like a poem, which a lot of those song lyrics do, of course. So close, no matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trust in who we are, and nothing else matters. Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you, every day for a something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. And if you don't know who that is, that's a track by Metallica. And Nothing Else Matters is the track. Go and check it out. I may put it up in the description so you can click on it and have a look at the video if you don't know what that is. But I sang that to my wife on our wedding day. Not the first one, the second one. Yes, I've been married to my wife twice. First time for legal reasons. Second time was what my wife always wanted as well, was having a church wedding. But so commitment. Let's talk about the commitment, right? And you can take this to anything that you want to commit to. But it's the actual knowing, first of all. And I sure did know. It come to that point where we were dating. I was living over in London, and my wife was up in Maryland, actually, at this point. Moved up from Florida, originally from New Jersey. Moved down to Florida, and then went up to Maryland for work. I'd already just broken up with a girl that I was with for around 6.5 years, and I was over here on holiday. And we were staying, my mate and I were staying with the girl that he was dating at the time up in Maryland, also an American girl. I happened to come over with him this year because once I had broken up, I had some money where I was saving for a house, and I've always wanted to go to the US. And I was talking to my mate and that, and I said, "Hey, matey, shit, I'll come over with you if you want, you know." And he's like, "Well, hang on, let me check it out, let me check it out with the girlfriend and that." I'm like, "All right, sweet ass. I ain't going to get in the way. I just want to, It ended up being an absolute blast of an holiday. So, yeah, it was all good. Hunky-dory. I spoke to the girlfriend. We became good friends. And over I came on holiday. And my wife happened to be up on I was here 3 weeks. And my wife, well, now wife, happened to be coming up there and spending some time until she could sort herself out with an apartment and stuff, and that's how we met. And then, 4,000 miles, are you having a laugh? Think about that, right? That's when that commitment comes in, because we started dating, we started talking, we was having phone calls back and forth, and over the period of like a year or just over a year or something like that. I don't know, I can't quite put my finger in, but around about a year time, something like that. It was down to, right, what are we going to do here? Commitment. How much did I believe that this was, going in the general positive direction? Because remember, even though there's the commitment, there's still that unknown out there, right? The pieces, parts that we don't know about each other. Plus we're 4,000 miles away from each other. We've never lived together. There's a whole different ball game when it comes to the commitment part, because that's when you commit, that's when you're making that move. It's a commitment. Commitment don't work unless you've got action behind it. You've got to put the action behind a commitment. Otherwise, it's not a commitment. And we knew it was going to happen. So then we were scrambling to try and find ways of doing it. Of course, then all of them, all the warnings come down on both sides, right? Or think about the health insurance and all that over there. You're doing the right thing, things like that, right? And my wife's getting, he's just coming over for a green card. Well, 30 years later, I'm still waiting for that. No, I've got it, but... But I'm still here 30 years later, so I don't think it was for that. Because I remember having that conversation with my wife, and I remember saying to her on the phone, I don't care where you're at, don't matter where you're at in the world, wherever you want to go, where do you want to go? And the commitment. So I knew this is it. I want to do this. This is going to happen. And then once you make that the bigger part, this is going to happen. Not, I'm going to try and make it happen. This is going to happen. Then once you make that commitment to the mind, this is going to happen. Saying I'm going to try and make it happen is not a commitment. This is going to happen is a commitment. And then the mind knows, okay, what do I have to do to make this happen? What do I have to do to get this commitment fulfilled? When you say, I'm going to try, it goes, okay, well, we can have a go at this, we can have a go at that. But hey, if something doesn't go quite right, then it's no big deal. It's okay. You tried. But when you say the other, it puts the mind in a different direction. It's commitment. And how much do you want to be committed? And those commitments kept on cropping up, because once we had decided that, okay, well, my wife just got into a career. I was in a chefing job where it was like, okay, it's getting a bit like, And I know I was due to kind of leave out of there because I was getting a little bit uncomfortable and that. And, So I said, all right, I'll come over there. Made that commitment. And the crazy thing is, this is what was really weird, is we figured out that I could come back then, I could come over into the US. It used to be a 3-month without a visa. I don't know what it all is now, but it used to be 3 months that you could come over without having to have a visa. So that's what I was going to do, is come over. But the weird and crazy thing is, my wife and I, we talked about this literally just recently, because I brought the subject up, and my wife was like, yeah, I thought that kind of weird, right? Is the fact that, I moved over. I didn't just put my stuff in storage over there just in case. I moved it all. I shifted the whole lot over. So there was a knowing. There was a subconscious knowing somewhere that this is going to happen. This is happening. And when I got into the US, 5 days later, my dad passed away. Now that threw a whole wrench in the works right there, because now here we go. Now what do we do? Where's the commitment now? Is it strong? Are you willing to do the things for you? The commitment. Commitment to self. It takes a lot. And sometimes those choices and decisions that we make, we don't know what the outcome may be. We don't know really what direction it may be going in. But when we make that commitment, we're willing to do whatever we got to do to make it happen. It's a commitment. There's no false fanny farting around with it. It's going to happen. So those things that come along when we make a commitment and we have a passion to make it happen, we figure it out. So that happens. You can't just upheave and leave and think you're coming back. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. I wasn't an American citizen or anything like that. It was, what we gonna do now? And we got talking, was trying to figure out how to do it. I've got my mum, obviously distressed, and like, what we gonna do here? So my wife got into a lawyer. Thank God, that was willing to give us some time, because we didn't have any money. And she gets off the phone. I remember this clearly, because for the first little bit, we were staying at an apartment that was my wife was renting from a roommate. And so she lovingly and caringly and compassionately let me stay there as well while we were getting things figured out apartment-wise and that. And thank God she did, because it was So here we are in a position, like, what do we do? So I remember standing in the kitchen of that apartment, and my wife got off the phone, and I went to the entrance bit of the kitchen, and I'm like, so what's the score then? What can we do here? Because we thought there might be something, get a stamp or something. I don't know. And she goes, we've got to get married. I'm like, what? What? Yeah. 5 days I'd been in the US. 5 days. You want to talk about being on a spot and you get something like that? I mean, that's no joke. That's a huge commitment. That's a huge commitment. And my wife, girlfriend at the time, is willing to go there because she can see. I could see. We knew. The trust was there. We got along great. We was you figure things out. And trust me, when you get that commitment, when you know, And it ain't always plain sailing when you make a commitment. And I'm not just talking about commitment to people either. I'm talking about commitment to something. But if you don't commit, if you don't put that mind in a place of commitment, you will forever be wishing you had, because you're constantly going to be not committed. You're going to give in to the fears. And there was a lot of fears involved making those kind of commitments that I made. And I'm not saying I'm no damn hero, because I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. I'm not. But there are those times when you know too, whoever's listening to this, you know too that you have made some commitments. And then when you've made those commitments, you work around whatever it is that comes your way, the lessons that come along, the teachings that come along. Even if that means that it's like, oh, that ain't quite the direction to go, I didn't like that, and you know not to go there. It's a lesson. People you meet that may not be quite right, it's a lesson. But you don't get to those pieces unless you commit. Commit. Don't spend your life wondering if you should have started that project, wondering or kicking yourself that you didn't. An opportunity comes along and you want to make a commitment. What happens to when you got those voices in your head that are giving you the warnings like I got? What'd you do with that? Do you allow those warnings to come in? Because let me tell you, if I had a done, I'd still be living in London. I'd still be over there. I don't know what job I'd be doing or anything like that, but I'd still probably be working through the kitchens and stuff like that. Because making that commitment ultimately put me where I'm at right now. Because after making that commitment, when everything come along and we just worked through the course, my mental health come up in all this, anxiety. Not long after I was married, here I am on all these different cocktails of drugs and shit. We're doing the immigration thing on our own because we could not afford a bloody lawyer, let me tell you. It was a commitment, and we pushed through whatever ever came our way, and we still are. We're still doing it. It's about looking at self at those points of commitment and not listening to the voices, not listening to the people that are close to you and love you because they want you to stay where you're at. Yeah, sometimes some people get a little hurt because some people will not understand why you're making some of the commitments that you're making. And let me tell you, if it doesn't work out, if something doesn't quite work out, don't stand back and say, I'm a complete failure. Look, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do it. No. You don't do that. Because the first thing is if you hadn't committed, where would you have been on the thought pattern of thinking that, I wish I'd have done that later on, right? At least you committed and you found out. Now, what did you find out? You didn't find out that you failed. You found out a whole bunch of lessons that you can now look at. If you wish to go forward and do it again, you got lessons there that can help you out now. You don't get anywhere without some vulnerability. You don't get anywhere without some vulnerability. It's going to help you grow. And that vulnerability is, some of the fears and things like that are going to crop up. And it is going to crop up. Even when I've been, after a few years of living here, you may hear of things that's going on back in your own town or whatever, right? Maybe friends, something's happened, or family members or whatever, right? And you can't get there straight away, or you can't get there at all. It's a commitment to self. It's a commitment to something that is ultimately for self. Because to move forward and commit takes courage. That goes for your mental health too. Committing committing to helping yourself in mental health. If that means going and talking to somebody and getting the help that way, this is what I do for a living. I have a certification in counselling. I do things a lot different, though. I do things in a different way. And I'm sure my guys out there, if you're listening, hopefully you can vouch for me on that one. But I do things differently. But, commitment. I have guys that commit to me. Commit. They turn up. They do the work. They commit to themselves. But if you don't make the commitment to go forward and stretching out, reaching out a hand and stretching out a hand, getting someone that you can talk to, even if it means that you turn up and just be heard, just talk, just to be heard, it makes a massive, massive difference to just have someone there that's neutral and will listen to you. Because a lot of people that I have are in minds of chaos and they don't feel like they're being listened to at all. You've got people that's been brought up and parents are checked out, emotions and things like that, and it's non-existent. Some parents ain't existing. They're not even there. Commit to yourself. Please, commit to yourself. You got to take those steps. And I do say got to, otherwise you're going to regret it. You may have a job that you're thinking about, but the thought of the security that the one you're in is kind of pulling you back from that commitment. But is the commitment going to make you grow? You know how that's going to make you grow? Because you're showing your vulnerabilities. And there's growth in vulnerability. So make those commitments, guys. Thank you for checking in on me. I love it when I get those comments too. I love each and every one of you. I have some really loyal people out there, and I really do appreciate yous. Thank you and love you to my lovely, lovely wife. I don't know how you put up with me all these bloody years, my dear, let me tell you. But you've been there through thick and thin, and boy, oh boy, has there been some rocky ones, hasn't there? But I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. You know me better than anybody. And I love you more than anybody. Well, can I throw the kids in there? I don't know about that. Please, please, please go and subscribe. Give me some love. Show me some compassion, yeah. Loving each and every one of you. Have a great week. Namaste.